So today we're going to take a look at completing out our neon lights project by applying our image onto a real world building. I've already prepared a couple backgrounds that we can use. If you go over to Canvas, you can right click on any of the image under the neon project wall mockup, right click on the image, save image as. Any three options will work. It's going to be looking at the perspective, showing how to apply a drop shadow, as well as applying a glow onto the building to help make it look more realistic. So once I save image as, you can save it under your file. We're going to look to open it up into Adobe Photoshop. We should already have our project open. The Donald Duck I have is just for showing you the process. You are using your own personal images to help create the same effect. I can either look at doing the Donald Duck by itself or taking it with the Donald Duck text as well. When it comes into it, you have different options to work with. If you have a more horizontal design, you may want to consider this option or this option. If you have something more vertical, this can still be used. This may be your better option overall. There's a lot of space to work with. Think about the overall size, making it stand out. As you can see with the example in front of us, the Donald Duck has a good example of on the text, how the drop shadow is applied to create the sense that it is standing off the wall. And then there is a red and blue glow happening behind the text that is allowing it to make it appear as if it's creating the effect that's glowing behind the object. The same thing happens over with the actual image itself as well. Just be careful that your glow effects are not too strong. You can always go back in the settings, make some modifications if need be. But to create the same effect, I'm going to be putting the design onto this center wall. When it comes to the design, I'm going to look to take the head of Donald Duck, selecting out all the layers that make up my shape. I've condensed down the effects. I can click on this little down arrow that reveals the layer effects or condense them. I'm able to do them all at one time because I'm all selected. If I want to select all the layers, remember Command or Control, depending on the platform that you're using. But with all the layers selected, I can click on the Move tool. First tool, left side navigation, click and drag. Again, make sure that you have all the layers selected. Click and drag up to our design and drop it on. Again, if my settings are too strong, it may not necessarily work, but what I'm going to look to do once I bring it over, right click on the image and merge layers. Merging the layers will combine it into one single layer, so you don't have to redo your effects when we scale it down. And the reason why I picked out these images is there are indications of where things can align. We want to think about the perspective on these walls. So if I were bringing it over to my other option, again, I can click and drag using the Move tool up to my tab. Don't let go until you drag it onto the canvas. But you can see that I have the design. Now I'm going to look to modify and distort the shape to fit better onto this darker wall. To do this, I'm going to hit Control or Command T, or I can go up to Edit, Transform, and I'm going to go Distort. But if you want to go with the shortcuts, Command or Control T, then right click on the image and hit Distort. The reason being, this will allow me to modify the corners of the object, changing the shape as needed. I'm going to put this closer towards the front of the wall, and we can put the text of Donald Duck over to the right side of this wall. But again, it all depends on the design that you have. So if you see this wall, it has lines that give us an indication of where things line up. We want to make sure that the perspective is correct. So I want to make sure that if I apply my bottom left corner along this line, I'm going to apply the top left corner on this line as well. This way we make sure that we get the correct perspective. Over on the right side, I'm going to bring it over to this line, and I'm going to keep it relatively parallel to the bottom line that sits underneath of the shape. Towards the top side, I'm going to have to pull this up to the right. And even if I go outside the area, I know that I'm in the correct perspective because I maintain the right alignment to the bricks on the wall and the left alignment over towards the left side of the image. So if I zoom out, it's a good perspective. It seems a little bit too strong. If I feel like it's too tall, I can pull it out a little bit further. But overall for my design, it fits out well. So once I'm satisfied with the placement, I can hit enter. And again, if the settings are too strong, you can go back into the effects. I can right click, modify my inner glow, change out and the effects if I feel it's too strong. So if I wanted to double click inside my inner glow, if I feel like the settings are too high, if I need to make some modifications, I can reduce these down. Settings are based on what you feel works best for your design. I did provide other settings that might look a little bit different. But they will work as long as you're maintaining the consistency that the glow effect should not overwhelm or take away from your design. I feel like my head is a little bit too strong with the coloring. So again, I can go back into the settings, make a couple modifications. So once I have my settings in the correct manner, I'm going to now look to apply these effects, and I'm going to reduce this down so I can do this all at once. So I'm going to condense the effects over on the right side of the layers panel. I'm going to select out all the layers that make up my shape. I'm going to right click on the image, merge layers. Now that I have the text all or the image all scaled, I'm going to look to duplicate this layer, right click on the layer and duplicate layer, and click OK. So we have the mouth copy and we have the mouth sitting underneath of it. I'm going to rename this Donald Neon Top and Donald Blair. With the neon top, I'm going to look to place a drop shadow. The drop shadow is meant to help create separation on the wall. With the layer selected on the top layer, I'm going to go down to FX, click on drop shadow. I'm going to change this drop shadow color to black. And I can tell that my settings are way too strong currently. But I'm going to look to modify out my settings. I'm going to change the perspective of the angle to about 140. The spread is definitely too strong overall. I can reduce that down. And I can't really see what's happening because my distance is currently down to 0. If I slide my distance over to the right, you start to see the shadow move down to the right from my object. Again, my size is still just too strong. I'm going to reduce my size down. It's not meant to overwhelm and take over the design. You can see the black shadow sitting behind the subject. But again, I can go through my settings, start to soften it up as it's further away from the wall. Again, you want to avoid this spread. You can see how much it jumps so quickly. I'm just looking for a little black drop shadow to sit as if it were a shadow casting from behind the neon lights. Now that I have this, I can click OK on the pop-up. So my distance for myself, I put it at 100. Now with the Donald blur, again, the reason why it's so strong right now is the Donald blur is sitting behind the object. If I hide this original Donald neon, I'm going to take the Donald blur and slide it down to the right. Now revealing the top one, we can see that it's relatively sitting behind the object. But for this Donald blur, we want to blur this out so it doesn't appear so strong. We don't want to see those white lines, those details. I'm going to look to go up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. I'm going to push my Gaussian blur up to about 30% on the radius, or 30 pixels. And I can always adjust the placement. The idea of this, again, is to make it the effect that we're applying this glow that would be casting on the wall. So right now, it doesn't necessarily look real. So what I can look to do is go through my blend modes up in the layers panel where it says normal. You can see that it can create some very interesting light sources where it actually picks up the texture. If I go like a color dodge, if I again go through a couple different settings, we can see how this light is going to cast onto the brick and onto the design. So linear light works pretty well. The one thing I would look to do is just drop the opacity a little bit so it's not as strong, but it just picks up a little bit of color in the design. If I do want to make any changes, I can always go back in my drop shadow if the distance is too much. Just condense that down a little bit. And this will allow me to be able to pull back in my coloring, so it's just a little bit more subtle overall. So we can see that we have the image. Now I want to consider possibly bringing over the text, because we want to get our whole entire design. For my Donald and Duck text, I'm going to select out the layers. Again, go to the Move tool, click and drag from the object up, and drag it onto the tab and drop it on. Again, we're going to repeat the process. With the text, I'm going to right click. I'm going to first rasterize type if I did not rasterize the type, and then right click and merge layers. With it now merged, I can look to change the perspective. I can hit Control T or Command T, then right click and click on Distort. This will again allow me to change the perspective on the shape, grabbing the corners. And again, I'm going to use the lines of the bricks to help give me an indication of where the perspective should lie. That way I know I'm getting the accuracy. Everything's aligned. Once I have the correct perspective, I can hit Enter or Return. Now I'm going to duplicate this layer. Right click, duplicate layer. And I can look to actually copy over the layer style from my Donald Duck Neon and paste layer style on. We see that the drop shadow is now applied onto this. Just understand that if you move the angle, it's going to move the angle of the Donald Duck as well. But I can still reduce down the distance if I don't like how far Donald Duck is standing out with a black shadow. I'm just going to reduce that down a lot shorter. It's further away, so I don't need it as far. Then for my duck text, I'm going to look to go up to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur. Again, we're just softening this up. I'm going 30% for the pixels. I want to move it over to the right, just so it helps to create a little bit more attention on the drop shadow that's sitting behind it. And now it ties into showing our overall design fitting well to the scene, to the landscape. With this brick wall now filled with this neon glow, we're all done with the neon project. We're going to look to save it first as a Photoshop file, then save it as a PNG. You're going to upload a PNG onto Canvas. Hope you enjoyed.